Inflation slowed in June, easing financial pressures on consumers. The Consumer Price Index rose by 3% from June 2023, down from a 3.3% increase in May, as reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Though still above the target of around 2% set by policymakers, inflation has notably cooled from the peak of around 9% observed 2 years ago, the highest since 1981. During a recent presidential debate, both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump traded blame over inflation during the pandemic era. Trump accused Biden of causing inflation, contrasting it with his own tenure, which he claimed had low inflation due to a strong economy. Biden countered by attributing Trump's era of low inflation to an economy that claimed was severely weakened. Economists cautioned that attributing inflation solely to presidential actions oversimplifies a complex issue, suggesting that neither Biden nor Trump bears complete responsibility for recent inflation trends experienced by consumers. Global events beyond the control of Presidents Trump and Biden significantly disrupted supply and demand dynamics in the U.S. economy, leading to higher prices, economists explained. Factors contributing to inflation included delayed actions by the Federal Reserve to address rising inflationary pressures, pandemic relief measures enacted by both administrations, and factors like greedflation. David Wessel from the Brookings Institution noted that attributing inflation solely to presidential policies oversimplifies a complex issue, as presidents often receive more credit or blame for economic conditions than warranted. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, emphasized that neither Trump nor Biden bears full responsibility for high inflation. He pointed to the pandemic and geopolitical events like the Russian war in Ukraine as major drivers. The pandemic disrupted global supply chains, causing labor shortages due to illness, closures of child care centers, and reduced immigration. This led to disruptions in manufacturing and logistics, affecting the availability of goods. Consumers shifted their spending habits during the pandemic, increasing demand for goods like furniture and home office equipment. Combined with supply chain shortages, this contributed to higher prices as the economy reopened. Additional factors included semiconductor shortages impacting automakers and fleet reductions by rental car companies, which affected prices in those sectors. Geopolitical events, such as Russia's actions in Ukraine, further exacerbated inflation by driving up global commodity prices like oil and food. Overall, economists highlighted that the period of high inflation was driven largely by global trends and disruptions rather than specific policy actions of any single government, although policies did play a role. Both Presidents Biden and Trump are not without responsibility for contributing to inflation through their fiscal policies, economists contend. For instance, Biden's American Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion stimulus package from March 2021, provided substantial financial relief to households through measures like stimulus checks and enhanced unemployment benefits. While it bolstered the job market and lowered unemployment, its scale injected significant liquidity into the economy, driving up demand and prices. Michael Strain from the American Enterprise Institute suggested that the American Rescue Plan may have added around 2 percentage points to inflation. Despite this, he acknowledged that inflation would have still been present without the plan. Conversely, Mark Zandi viewed the stimulus's impact on inflation as beneficial, helping the economy reach the Federal Reserve's target inflation rate after a period of below-average inflation. They emphasized that while companies may have adjusted prices opportunistically, they didn't single-handedly cause the inflationary pressures observed. Join our vibrant community and be in the know by subscribing to our channel for the latest news and captivating content.